we are going to start chapter number 4, Thermodynamics. So what do you mean by thermodynamics? We know that thermo means heat or temperature and dynamics means motion or moving. So we can say that thermodynamics, it is something related to heat and temperature, or it is the interconversion of work or any form of energy. In 11th standard, you have studied thermal properties of matter like heat, temperature. Now in this chapter, we will study behavior of thermal energy, thermodynamic system, thermodynamic variable and thermodynamic process. Okay. So let us start with the first point, that is introduction. Now what do you mean by thermodynamics? So let us see some example. First example is when hot object is in contact with the cold object, then after some time both the objects reach at same temperature. Okay, when hot object is in contact with cold object, then after some time both the objects reach at same temperature. Now consider the temperature of hot object is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, and temperature of cold object is 5 degrees Celsius. Then after some time both the objects reach at same temperature. That means temperature of hot object becomes 25 degrees Celsius and temperature of cold object is also 25 degrees Celsius. That means after some time both the objects reach at same temperature. That means something is exchanged between two objects. Okay, that means something is exchanged between two objects and that is nothing but the heat. Okay, that is something is exchanged between these two objects and that is nothing but the heat. So heat is the form of energy. Okay, so heat is the form of energy. Now consider second example. When we drive a vehicle, its engine gets warmer after some time. Okay, when we drive a vehicle, after some time its engine gets warmer and it do some work. Okay, when we drive a vehicle, its engine gets warmer and it do some work, so it produce a heat. When work done by a engine produce a heat, so heat should also be able to do some work. Okay, when work done by a engine produce a heat, then heat should also be able to do some work. That means we can say that thermodynamics is the study of conversion of work or any form of energy. Okay, thermodynamics is the study of conversion of work or any form of energy. We can also define the thermodynamics as thermodynamics. It is the branch of physics which deals with the concepts of heat and temperature, and it is the interconversion of heat and other forms of energy. Okay, thermodynamics, it is the branch of physics which deals with the concepts of heat and temperature and interconversion of heat and other forms of energy. Now the next point is thermal equilibrium. So thermal means temperature and equilibrium means same temperature or equal temperature. Okay. Now consider this diagram. This bigger one is cold water container and this smaller one is hot water container. When this hot water is mixed with this cold water, then there is a transfer of heat from hot water to cold water. Okay. Because of that, this hot water cools down and this cold water becomes warmer. Okay, as there is a transfer of heat, so hot water cools down and this cold water becomes warmer. That means we can say that heat is transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. Okay, heat is transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature, and this transfer continues till the level of heat contains in both the substances is the same. Okay, this transfer continues till the level of heat contained in both the substances, that is hot water and cold water, is the same. That means after some time both the substances, that is cold water and hot water, becomes or reach at the same temperature. Okay. After some time, both the objects are at same temperature, and at that stage there is no transfer of heat. Okay, and at that stage there is no transfer of heat from hot water to the cold water, and that stage is known as thermal equilibrium. So we can define thermal equilibrium as when two systems in thermal contact with each other in thermal equilibrium if they do not transfer heat between each other and they are at same temperature. Okay, when two objects are at same temperature, then they are in thermal equilibrium and they do not transfer heat between each other when they are at same temperature, and this concept is known as thermal equilibrium. Okay, and this concept is used in zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, now we will see zeroth law of thermodynamics. Now the next point is zeroth law of thermodynamics, and the statement is if two systems are each in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then they are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. If two systems are each in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then they are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. Consider A, B and C are three systems. Then here system A and system C are in thermal equilibrium. Here system A and system B are in thermal equilibrium. Then system B and C are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay, as these two systems A and C are in thermal equilibrium, here A and B are in thermal equilibrium, then this system B and C are also in thermal equilibrium with each other, because this is the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, and these three systems, that is A, B and C, are at same temperature and there is no transfer of heat because these three systems are in thermal equilibrium. Now we know that thermometer is used to measure the temperature of the objects. Okay, and this thermometer works on the concept of thermal equilibrium, or this thermometer works on the principle of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, when thermometer and any object in thermal equilibrium, when a thermometer or any object is in thermal equilibrium, then thermometer indicates the temperature of that particular object. Okay, then thermometer indicates the temperature of that particular object. So this zeroth law of thermodynamics helps us to find the temperature of that particular object. Now this law also helps in defining the concept of temperature scale. Okay, this zeroth law of thermodynamics helps in defining the concept of temperature scale. In previous standard we have studied temperature scale like Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale. We have already seen the conversion of Celsius to Kelvin. Okay, and so we can say that this temperature is a measurable quantity, and the study of measuring temperature is called as the thermometry. Okay, so the study of this measuring temperature is called as the thermometry. So this is the introductory part of this chapter, that is thermodynamics.